What's up, everyone? It is your girl GELBEAUTY87 here, aka Grace, and today, honey, we're gonna get into another colorful versus muted. So I found a few more things in my collection because I'm always finding things in my collection, so I figured we go ahead and do another one of these episodes. I had planned to only do 4, but it seems like you all are really into it, so I'm like, since you're into it, I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, film a few more and see how this goes and see where it takes us. But without further ado, let's get into it. So this is like, I think, the 4th or 5th one I've filmed, so I feel like y'all kind of got an idea what's going on here. So let's get into it. So first, colorful versus muted is the Juicy Skewer from Dede Signature up against the Natasha Denona Juvia palette from, I forgot what, I think it was 2018, 2019 she came out with these. I'm not 100% sure, but as you can see, they're definitely giving similar tones and similar vibes, if you will. So if you were interested in getting the what do you call it, Juicy Skewer from Dede Signature, it's definitely giving a good alternative to the Natasha Denona Juvia palette. The only thing is you don't get a yellow shimmer, you get a yellow matte instead, because this is a matte shade. This is a shifting dual chrome shade right here, because it's pink when I turn it this way, but when I turn it this way, to me it's gold. That is a traditional red though, just like the red shimmer in here, except I think the red might be a little bit brighter. Then you get some deeper shades. So you get 6 in this one, whereas you get 5 in this one. That's where you get this little extra pink. But otherwise, I feel like the majority of the shades in here are quite similar. However, we know this is a colorful one because it has the pink going on in it, and it has the bright yellow going on, and not to mention the dual shifting pink to gold shade, so you don't get a traditional gold like you do in Natasha's palette. But you know, it has a good formula. It's a great price point. My girl Dionluvsmakeup reviewed these a while ago, and I think they're great. This is the more muted one for obvious reasons, and for Natasha, this is actually pretty good as far as color goes. But again, we get bright, fun mattes in the palette from Dede Signature, the Juicy Skewer, so that is why I'm making this the more neutral one and that the more colorful one. But I would definitely think about pairing these side by side and see how it goes. I don't know though, because it's like you'll have to have a pretty boring look, because it had to be just 2 reds and call it a day, because we'd have to use this dark red right here and then just red right here. So I feel like that might not necessarily be a fun look for you all when it comes to these videos, because I try to give like fun, or at least very obvious muted versus like colorful themed eye looks when I do it. So I don't feel like that one's necessarily best, so I probably won't, but you'll see it in a reel somewhere else again, because you know I'm gonna have to have my reels going all that. Next, colorful versus muted, we have the Sahara 2 palette from Juvia's place up against the Aries palette from the holiday collection as well. So she came out with 2 palettes in the holiday collection. This is the second one. When it came to this one, I originally did not buy this one, so I bought this one when she relaunched this collection. But I bought this palette instead, because as you can see, the colors are quite similar. This is Sahara 2. They don't make this one anymore, unfortunately, but I definitely was like, look here, like these look super similar in my personal opinion. So I was like, I don't need both. And since I was obsessed with Juvia's place then, and I'm still obsessed with Juvia's place now, but I was like more about price point in addition to supporting the black owned brand. I was like, I'm gonna get the Juvia's place one, because why would I pay $50 for this one? I feel like there's not a deep enough shade for the outer V for someone with my skin tone, and that was my whole issue with this one. I didn't mind getting in when I got the other one, but I'm like, what am I supposed to use the outer V shade? Because to me, this shade isn't deep enough for that. And as you can see, Juvia's place has 2 more, so I can use this as my outer V, I could use this as my crease, or I could use this as my outer V. So I feel like they gave you 2 outer V shades in addition to a crease shade, and then all these fun shimmers that look really similar to the Natasha shimmer. So I went ahead and bought the Natasha one. But obviously the Juvia's place one is much more colorful, because it has this colorful red matte shade, and it has more colorful shimmers than this one does, because you get 2 blues in here. You only get 1 blue in here. Y'all know I love a good blue moment, and blue is actually one of my first favorite colorful shadows that I use. So I definitely had to make the Juvia's place one the colorful one, and the Natasha one the more muted one. However, I'm not going to do a video on these either, just because again, I feel like you're not going to get too much depth or interesting unique eye colors out of it. Plus they don't make the palette anymore, so I want to do ones with palettes that they still make, or at least try to do ones with palettes they still make for the most part. So that's why I'm eliminating those 2 as far as making a video on. The next colorful versus muted I have is the, what it is, the Dior Backstage Eye Palette. Wait, is this in the right stack? Against the Smoke Sessions. Okay, so believe it or not, the reason I said that the matte one was more colorful because it has all those bright shimmers at the bottom. That's the only thing that made the matte one the more colorful one in my personal opinion, because otherwise I feel like they have a good gradient of shades, but I feel like their shades are more muted, and the Milk Cosmetics is more smoky. So that's why I said this is like the more muted color story, because it gives you a whole bunch of neutrals and maybe like those 2 pops of greens, whereas with this one you get bright colors, you get the green, and then you still get like bright shimmers. I feel like everything in here is, well, kind of muted, if you will, so that's why it's the muted palette, and this one is the colorful palette. However, I don't know that I necessarily want to do one with these either, because there's like, I don't think there's any mattes in this palette. So I feel like it wouldn't necessarily be fair, because I'd have a whole bunch of satins and metallics that I have to use, and there are mattes and shimmers in here. Not to mention there's colorful stuff in here that I'd want to play with. Oh, we're just doing it the way I'm supposed to, and that wouldn't necessarily be fun for you. So far we got a good majority of the ones that I'm not using. There are a couple here though that I'm just like, yes, I want to do looks with. Sorry y'all, the Natasha Denona palette keep trying to fall. This thing has fell like at least 2 or 3 times. I'm like, look, stop playing with me. So if I put them on the floor, then maybe we shouldn't have that issue. But anyway, on to the next one. So we got Colorful versus Muted. This is the Sigma New Mods palette up against the Patrick Ta Major Dimension Volume 2 palette. So I feel like both these palettes actually look quite similar. The only thing is I feel like the one from Patrick Ta actually runs quite warm, whereas the one from Sigma gives me more berry tones and cool tones, more variety when it comes to tones, in my personal opinion. What I don't like about the Patrick Ta one also is I feel like it's a lot of mid-tone shades, whereas I feel like with the Sigma one I can get mid-tone and I can get deeper, and it's not going to run warm and red. It's going to run more true to the color that you see in the pan, because in the pan here the things look rosy, but when you put them on your eyes, honey, they just go really warm and red, which I was not necessarily a fan of. I still like the shimmers in here. The shimmers are the star of the show for me when it comes to his palettes along with the mattes. It's just more of, I feel like I like the shimmer formula that he put in the second palette better than the first one, but I would pick the Sigma one as a colorful one just because it has that dual chroming fun shade here, and it has more the purple pink true to color vibe, whereas this one is more warm tone. So sometimes I do them based upon color preference, and obviously that is it. Plus to me this is just a mid-tone palette at the end of the day, because you have to use the creams to make the stuff deeper, and then it's a whole thing, and I'm like, Patrick, honey, couldn't you just make it to where I could use it without having to use the creams? I don't know. But this one I'm thinking I might do one on, just so you can see the difference when it comes to like the coloring that I was talking about, because I'm telling you the Patrick Ta runs so warm and red, even though it looks pink in the pan, and I kind of want you to see that whole aspect of it. So I think we might end up doing a video with these two, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay y'all, I got 3 more left and that's it. This next one I'm definitely doing a video. So next we have Colorful versus Muted. So this is the Strawberry Dream palette from Luna Beauty. That's Manny MUA's brand, alongside the what is this one called? I forget. The Belle of the Ball from Pat McGrath and Bridgerton. So when I first looked at this, I was like, I didn't realize how similar the color story really was. But look at it, like it has a lot of those pinks he has. It has that bright gold he has. The only difference is he has the iridescent blue, and this is a mint shade. But he has more blues in there, which is what makes it colorful for me. Whereas obviously we know this one is kind of more muted compared to that, because they both have the rosy tones and it has that one pop of mint. But the rest of it is neutral and nudie, because that's what Pat McGrath is known for. And like I told you, I love blue. So anytime anybody throws a blue in their palette, you have my undivided attention. I'm just like, yes, give it to me. Give me the blue. So we are definitely going to do one against both of these, because I want to see how Man's Gold goes up against Mother's Gold, and how well these berry matte tones are going to go up against his berry matte tone. So I'm definitely going to do one against both of these, but I have to take it home and do a video. A shorts reel on it first. So I'm gonna take it home tonight and do the reel, and then I will come back another day with it to do the rest of it, because I'm telling y'all I always got some type of video sort of situation thing to do. I know it's a lot. Okay, so another one, this one was kind of an unsuspecting one to me that I didn't truly think about until recently. So this one is Muted versus Colorful. So this is my Natasha Denona Love palette that I'm putting up against my Beauty Bay Berries palette. If you all remember, I got this one when I bought the Midnight one and the Earthy one when they came out with them. I want to say it's 2021, I want to say, don't quote me, but this is what both of them look like. Now I know you like, how you calling this Natasha one Muted when it's the colorful one? Well, when you think about it, like, she doesn't give a whole bunch of bright mattes. It's like you might get like 1 or 2 in there, and I feel like this one just gives so much more berry tone, brightness, and warmth and color, whereas some of the colors in here are still muted, where I feel like all the colors in here just about are like colorful and there's not too much of anything muted. I feel like at best you could say like maybe these 2 right here are muted out of this entire palette, and I feel like you can see like 3 or 4 of these are muted, aside from the fact that we know Natasha isn't really known for color. The most colorful thing she's given us is Circle Loco, and I want to say like this, and maybe if you consider Yucca colorful, I consider it more of a neutral palette with pops of colors. The same way I kind of consider this a pop of color palette, because she put pops of purple in here, and since it's supposed to be Valentine's Day, we know it's supposed to be red, so that's why I said that this was more muted one compared to this one being a colorful one. And these I definitely want to try, just because I'm like, I know they don't sell my Love palette anymore, and then like the, what is it, the Surrender palette from Unearthly Cosmetics, that was a good alternative to this one. They don't sell that one anymore either, so that's why I want to do this muted versus colorful, because I want to see if this is going to be comparable to this. Because I mean, at best, if you're not one who really likes purples and you want to have a good affordable Valentine's Day palette, I feel like this could be a good alternative for you, and you might be able to get similar looks that I get in this palette. So this is definitely a contender, just because it's so much more affordable. So the last one I've done a video on in the past, I'm pretty sure, so we don't need to do the video, but I wanted to show it in here for the people who were possibly interested in getting one of these palettes, because they're supposed to be reformulating the palette according to the brand. The other one is just a classic timeless palette from one of my favorite brands that's been a favorite brand for a while, but lately I feel like it's been letting me down, a lot of the other followers down. So I feel like you should already know this is colorful versus muted. This is the Unearthly Cosmetics what is not normal palette. She's supposed to be reformulating it, bringing it back, and this is the recently deceased from Melt and Beetlejuice. So this one obviously is the more colorful one. You see all these colors in here. I feel like this is more muted version of the colors in here, and then you got this whole row of neutrals that you do not get in the Beetlejuice palette. So that's definitely why I want to include this one in here and show the differences in between the two. But you see they both have the purples, they both have the greens, and then you just get a neutral row in there, and you get a little bit more variety in this one. So I'm not going to do a video on these. I think I've already done a video on these in the past. I'll try to remember, link it up above if I have. I don't 100% remember, but I feel like I've shown them side by side even if I didn't do the video. But I have a strong suspicion that I have done it, but I wanted to just show it in this video to give people a reminder of that. But those are the things I had to talk about in today's colorful versus muted video. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. You can comment down below and give me which palette you would like me to do if you want. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.